Hello, and welcome to Strategy Stories from the Real World, a series where we look inside at how leaders outside of Silicon Valley and the Fortune 1000 make tough and thoughtful strategic decisions. My name is Allegra Walls, and I will be today's host. As we kick off this brand new YouTube series focusing on big, bold vision, I'd like to say welcome. In this question and answer format, we'll be asking different leaders how they're accelerating their impact. Specifically during each show, we'll be digging into how leaders set and achieve their bold vision for success and how it helps them to impactfully lead their organizations. Today's guest is our very own fearless leader, Erica Olsen. Erica is the co-founder and CEO of OnStrategy. Erica founded our company 15 years ago to help organizations around the globe achieve their bold visions through thoughtful strategic planning and agile implementation. Great planning and consistency in results management, coupled with our application, have helped thousands of organizations around the world see success in strategy, all because of Erica's dedication to the strategic planning practice and her cultivating our organization to where we are today. We're excited to share some of our own backstory with you and how Erica has built our organization around her bold vision for the future. Good morning, Erica. Thanks for being in the hot seat first.
Allegra, so happy to be here and happy to co-host with you.
Thank you. So can you just tell us a little bit about why we're starting this new show? How did we come to starting Strategy Stories from the Real World?
Yes, finally launching this. We've been talking about it for several years, actually, if I'm totally honest. The reason we wanted to do this is because we have been working, our teams at OnStrategy have been working with CEOs and leadership teams for years. I love to say more than 15 years, less than 20, to not date us too much. But because of that, we've had this privileged inside look at organizations, their decision-making, leadership styles, leadership, challenges, failures, successes, and all under the guise of strategy planning and execution. One of the things we're always asked, or I'm often asked by CEOs, are how do we compare with others? Are we better or worse? Are we kind of similar? And I thought, well, why don't we share the stories from other CEOs with other CEOs and leadership teams and up and coming leaders, because you can get a sneak peek and learn how folks are doing it and know what you're doing well and what you can learn from and maybe what you can share as well. So that's where it came from. And we're just super excited because we really just get to work with all kinds of different organizations, and our leaders have so much to share, and we just are excited to make this collaboration happen. So off we go. And with our first series on big, bold vision, because I'm so passionate about that topic.
I love it. So let's just jump right in and get started. So what's your leadership style and how does it feel to be a part of your organization?
It's not the softball question or the hardball question. I'm not sure. Let's see. So I think I would say that being part of OnStrategy is both demanding and hopefully our team would say rewarding. We have a lot of pressure on us to make sure that we do a really great job in delivering and managing strategic planning processes and the expectation to deliver results against them. That comes with pressure. And then equally, I hope we provide a lot of opportunity. I try to provide a lot of opportunity to our team to explore and do what everybody wants to do to grow their careers. And so it's a pretty diverse workforce when it comes to the teamwork we get to do, the stuff we get to work on, the challenges that come with it. So that's kind of how I would summarize my leadership style: demanding and hopefully rewarding and full of opportunity.
I'm a little biased, but I'm inclined to agree.
Oh, good.
We do always like to ask that question because leadership style has a lot to do with paving the way for an organization. So since this series is about big, bold vision, describe yours.
Oh gosh. So when we started OnStrategy, I say we, with both of my parents, we're a family business. Our intention was to say change can happen, big things can happen through organizations. At the end of the day, almost every person in this world is part of some kind of an organization, be it a nonprofit or a business or a government entity, or whatever it happens to be. And it is through that coming together of people in an organizational structure that creates change. And we said to ourselves, well, let's be part of that change. Let's help organizations accelerate and be as great as they possibly can be. So our vision is to transform, it's always been, to transform 5,000 organizations and the lives of the staff, communities, and customers that they serve. And why 5,000? One of my big opinions about a big, bold vision is to have a destination that is different than today. And so we picked that number. It's been a vision that's been in place for a little while. We probably aren't counting as perfectly as we should be, but it was really about saying, hey, 5,000 is a lot. Let's go big. Let's be as part of as many organizations in a meaningful way as we possibly can be.
I love it. Leadership requires bringing people along in your journey. So how'd you get your team to buy into that vision?
Setting a vision is kind of risky. It takes some courage, and we started working on it as a executive team and then fleshed it out fleshed it out with the whole team in a classic retreat. That would be your expectation, to really get people bought in, to wordsmith it, to talk about why it matters and does it matter to all of us. So that was one part, to engage everybody in the crafting of it. And also, visions are real and authentic when we can see movement against them. And so we have seen proof points that we are making progress towards this vision, and that really gets people bought in. So that's always helpful. But the first step's always hard, throwing it out there.
So your vision is to transform 5,000 businesses. Where are we in terms of that vision?
Well, I'm probably breaking my own rules because we are not exactly tracking it perfectly, I would say. But just if I were to be a little like rough around the edges in terms of, how many businesses we've impacted, we're probably halfway there. The idea on this vision was to say, really working with 5,000 organizations. Does 5,000 matter? Really, it just says, hey, let's stretch. Let's think really, really big. Mm-hmm. And so we're probably halfway, just like rough math. Yeah.
Earlier, you said you had some proof points along the way. Can you give us some examples, highlights, or mile markers you've celebrated along your journey?
Yeah, I think celebrating successes along the journey are so important. That really keeps people focused on where we're going. And that's just great for teams, So for us, we had a fun celebration when we hit 500 long-standing customers. So that was great. So we did a really intentional thing with the team. I think we recently hit 75,000 YouTube subscribers. Thanks, everybody. Yay. So that's a little hand in hand with this particular vision, a little bit of a different marker, but that's about reach as well, and reach in a different way. So those are a couple important milestones that the team has been really excited about.
Awesome. Okay, so let's dig a little deeper. I want you to get a little bit vulnerable with me for a second, if you don't mind. What are some of the detours you've experienced, and how did you get back on track?
Oh, detours, they're kind of like failures. We are a self-funded, bootstrapped organization in a world where that is not common, actually, or not as common as it has been. And so part of that means we have to figure out how to fund our growth ourselves. And over the years, funding our growth ourselves has meant we did some things that were probably not our core and didn't necessarily directly tie into moving us forward on this vision. It did tie into helping generate revenue and sure we could do the work, but should we have? And so, the things that definitely detoured us were those things that were kind of took us off the really specific path that this vision laid out for all of us. And we know why, made justifications for why, but that just means achieving that vision is a little slower. So we got back on track in the hard way by saying no, which is hard. Yeah. So yeah, that would be our detours.
Thank you for giving us an inside look. I think that an organization that can adapt and pivot when necessary is a major strength, and that's a critical part of OnStrategy's vision to impact the visions of 5,000 organizations from around the globe. Your flexible leadership style and vision for OnStrategy is what makes us a leader in the successful implementation of strategy. So for my final question, our followers love practical tips and takeaways. What is the one gem or nugget of wisdom or tip that you want to share with other leaders about visioning or vision statements?
If I was to say one thing that I see with our clients, but also ourselves, that could be solved and improve most vision and vision statements is the need to be concise and clear and bold. And being bold means being courageous and picking a destination that is different than today, absolutely, and really crafting that clearly. So, and I think we trip up around the idea that vision statements need to be really short. Sure, they should be short, but let's start with being clear first, and then let's get, short. So that would be my tip for all of our listeners is have one and be clear and concise.
Awesome. Erica, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom today. We're really happy to kick off this new video series and can't wait to share insight from some of our favorite leaders around the globe. As always, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We drop new videos every week. Happy strategizing.